and welcome back to the Nomadic Odyssey. So bike मुझे मिली है आज after the event of the BSA launch. So कल I'm going to shoot about the comparison video between the Interceptor 650 versus the Royal Enfield versus the BSA. So stay tuned. चलो तो फिर फाइनली अपने को बाइक मिल चुकी है और बाइक पे आप बैठ भी चुके हैं. सो द प्लान टुडे इज़ टू राइड टू बानेर और वहाँ जाके वी विल बी रिव्यूइंग द टू बीस दैट आई हैव शोन इन द वीडियो प्रीवियसली, द इंटरसेप्टर 650 एंड द BSA Gold Star 650. So अभी पहले impressions I will like to tell you is that when I saw the bike first कि it looked quite calm, थोड़ा सा क्लासिक लुक लगा बाइक का. और मैं थोड़ा इम्प्रेस हुआ हूँ वेट मैनेजमेंट से. शॉर्ट राइडर्स इजीली बैठ सकते हैं. बाइक को उतनी बड़ी थंप नहीं लगी बट इट्स क्वाइट गुड. और इंजन काफ़ी बटरी स्मूथ है और ग्रंट और थंपिंग नॉइज़ भी अच्छा है. लो एंड टॉर्क भी काफ़ी अच्छी लगी थी मुझे. तो लेट्स सी हाउ द बाइक इज़ राइट नाउ. सो थोड़ा बाइक के बारे में पहले डिस्कस कर लेते फॉर गाइज हु माइट बी नोइंग क्वाइट लेस. सो द BSA Gold Star 650, इट्स बेसिकली सिंगल सिलेंडर 650 इंजन सरप्राइजिंगली. और की फीचर्स आपको बोला हो तो इंजन इज़ लिक्विड कूल्ड, सिंगल सिलेंडर DOC 4 वॉल्स ट्विन और ट्विन स्पार्क प्लग्स वाला इंजन. और कंप्रेशन रेशियो इज़ 11.5:1 और मैक्सिमम टॉर्क है 50 Nm और मैक्स पावर है 45 HP. 5 स्पीड ट्रांसमिशन और कूलिंग सिस्टम कम्प्लीटली लिक्विड है. फ्रंट सस्पेंशन आर 41 mm टेलीस्कोपिक फोक्स और रेयर आर ट्विन चॉक एब्जॉर्बर्स विथ 5 स्टेप एडजस्टेबल प्रीलोड. और बाइक का कंप्लीट मास इन वर्किंग ऑर्डर आप बोल सकते हो तो 201 kgs. बाइक हैज़ क्वाइट प्रीमियम टायर्स. फ्रंट टायर आता है 18 इंचज़ का विथ द पिरेली फैंटम स्पोर्ट्स कॉम्प. और फ्रंट व्हील है स्पोक्स 36 वाई स्पोक्स. रेयर टायर है अगेन विद द पिरेली विद द फैंटम टायर्स. सो दिस इज़ अ गुड कॉम्बिनेशन एंड क्वाइट प्रीमियम सेट ऑफ टायर्स दैट यू गेट. आगे आपको बोलूँ तो टैंक कैपेसिटी है 12 लीटर्स और फ्यूल कंजम्पशन अब तक आई कैनॉट स्पीक अबाउट इट बिकॉज आई डोंट नो अबाउट इट फ्रेंकली. व्हील बेस काफ़ी अच्छा है 1425 mm और सीट हाइट है 780 mm. सो ब्रेक्स पे आते हैं तो ब्रेक्स आर सरप्राइजिंगली फ्रॉम ब्रेम्बो. सो इट्स इट्स कम्प्लीटली टॉप क्लास द फ्रंट एंड बैक. और बाइक को आता है ABS एंड दैट टू इज़ ड्यूल चैनल, मतलब आपको आगे और पीछे दोनों तरफ ड्यूल चैनल ABS मिलता है. सो बाइक कम्स विद अराउंड 6 कलर्स, द इंसिग्निया रेड, डॉन सिल्वर, मिडनाइट ब्लैक, हाईलैंड ग्रीन, शैडो ब्लैक और सिल्वर शीन. सो द मॉडल दैट वी आर राइडिंग टुडे इज़ द I guess it's the silver sheen that we are having. So चलो let's discuss about the bike without wasting much of our time. तो लेट्स सी हाउ द बाइक फील्स लाइक. अब आपको आपके कॉकपिट दिख रहा रहेगा. कॉकपिट पे आपने को अच्छा सा एक USB चार्जिंग सिस्टम दी है जिसमें Type-C एज वेल एज USB पोर्ट आप लगा सकते हो. सो दैट इज़ वन प्लस गुड पॉइंट. और अभी मैं जब मैं गाड़ी पे बैठा हूँ तो कंपोजर काफ़ी मेरा सेटल डाउन है कि मैं ज़्यादा एंक्शस नहीं फील कर रहा हूँ बिकॉज आई कॉन्स्टेंटली कीप ऑन राइडिंग एडवेंचर बाइक्स दैट आई हैव. और दिस इज़ अ डिफरेंट एक्सपीरियंस आफ्टर अ लॉन्ग टाइम राइट आफ्टर द थंडरबर्ड. और दिस इज़ सम बाइक दैट आई एम राइडिंग विच इज़ बेस्ड ऑन द कंप्लीट रेट्रो फील. तो अब तक तो पॉटहोल्स काफ़ी अच्छे से आपको दिखते भी रहेगा. नीचे मैंने कैमरा रखा बिकॉज आई जस्ट वॉन्टेड टू शो हाउ द बाइक बिहेव्स ऑन पॉट होल्स और कैसे मैं फील कर रहा हूँ. बैठने के लिए काफ़ी कमांडिंग लग रही है. थोड़ा सा एक वाइब्रेशन मुझे मिलता है हल्का सा, नॉट मच बट इट्स नॉट एट द लेग्स, इट्स जस्ट अ बिट ऑफ बजिंग एट द हैंडल बार्स. और आप देख सकते हो तो the speedometer console, it looks quite premium, और उल्टा है. If you can see, it's anti-clockwise. Most of the time it's left, if left to right. It in my case it's right to left. So ये एक अलग सी चीज़ की है. और बीच में आपको एक छोटा सा एक स्क्रीन दिख रहा है, तो वहाँ पे आप न्यूट्रल के इंडिकेशंस देख सकते हो. बाइक की साइन आती है, और इंडिकेटर लगा है तो इंडिकेटर डिस्प्ले हो जाता है. ये सब आपको दिख के आता है. सो स्पीकिंग मोर अबाउट दिस, आई एम नॉट फीलिंग एनी काइंड ऑफ फटीग. मतलब बैठा हूँ गाड़ी पे तो राइडर ट्रायंगल पे मुझे अच्छा सा एक मतलब स्ट्रॉन्ग और डिज़ायर आ रहा है गाड़ी चलाने का. और क्या बोलूँ, अभी ब्रेकिंग का बाइट भी अच्छा मिल रहा है, गाड़ी अच्छे से मैन्यूवर हो रही है. बट वॉट एम आई मिसिंग इन दिस इज, आई फील दैट द बाइक misses on the thumb. I'm not a Royal Enfield guy, to be very frank. I don't like their bikes. It's my personal opinion. But I guess this bike is working quite well. लॉन्ग रूट्स का मैं बता नहीं सकता, बिकॉज बीइंग सिंगल सिलेंडर आपको जो फैक्टर है थकने का, वो इसमें थोड़ा सा आ सकता है. बट अदर देन दैट दिस बाइक फील्स क्वाइट ग्रेट, क्वाइट प्लश. मैं मेरे पैर भी ठीक से रख पा रहा हूँ, मुझे पैर टेढ़ा नहीं करना पड़ रहा है बैठने के बाद. मोस्ट प्रोबली व्हाट आई हैव हर्ड अबाउट द इंटरसेप्टर इज़, आपको पैर थोड़ा टेढ़ा करना पड़ता है गियर शिफ्ट करने के लिए. और ब्रेक्स भी आई गेस दे आर नॉट फ्रॉम ब्रेम्बो. तो आगे जाके अपन इंटरसेप्टर चलाने वाले हैं. माई फ्रेंड बेकन एंड पिनाकिन आर वेटिंग फॉर मी. तो उनके पास पहुंचने के बाद आई विल बी स्वैपिंग दिस बाइक विथ द इंटरसेप्टर 650, एंड देन वी विल डिसाइड एंड डिस्कस. सो ये व्लॉग पहली बार मैं बहुत लंबे टाइम का निकालने वाला हूँ. सो लेट्स वेट एंड वॉच. तो टिल देन स्टे ट्यून्ड. ओह, लेट्स स्टार्ट द बाइक. ओह, पुल भी, बाइक इज़ पुलिंग मी. मतलब जस्ट अ इंडिकेटर, दिस बाइक इज़ हैवीली कस्टमाइज्ड. मतलब बहुत से परफॉर्मेंस मॉड्स किए हैं बाय द ओनर. सो अभी बैठते ही थोड़ा सा ऑड फील कर रहा हूँ. माइट बी, हाँ ये आपको बता रहा था, मुझे पैर टेढ़े रखने पड़ रहे हैं टू शिफ्ट द गियर्स. बट ठीक है, थोड़ी सी दिक्कत हो रही है बिकॉज 1 घंटे से मैं बी एस ए चला रहा था. बट आई स्टिल फील दैट दिस देयर इज़ अ काइंड, एक छोटा सा डिस्कम्फर्ट है कि मुझे पैर सीधे नहीं रख पड़ रहे, और ऊपर से मेरे पास है राइडिंग शूज़. सो राइट नाउ द बाइक फील्स क्वाइट ग्रंटिया. और थोड़ा से गेयर शिफ्ट्स क्लंकी लग रहे. क्लंकी, नॉट क्लंकी बट अ बिट हार्ड देन द वंस ऑन द बी एस ए. सस्पेंशन ठीक है, आई डोंट हैव मच कंप्लेंट्स ऑफ दिस बिकॉज ठीक ठाक से गड्ढे सोख रही है गाड़ी. अदर देन दैट द डिस्प्ले इफ़ यू सी हियर इज़ क्वाइट डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द वन देयर. ज़्यादा कोई फ़र्क नहीं है, जस्ट आई हैव गॉट एन एडिशनल डिस्प्ले ऑन द बी एस ए 650. सो अभी फ़िलहाल के लिए तो ठीक है, थोड़ा कॉन्फिडेंट हूँ चलाते वक्त. बट द पावर डिलीवरी क्वाइट फील्स क्वाइट डिफरेंट बिकॉज this bike is हैज़ अ पैरेलल ट्विन इंजन. सो ऑब्वियसली वो एक स्टेबिलिटी आपको मिलेगी लॉन्ग राइड्स पे एज अपोज टू द बी एस ए 650. बट या, इफ़ यू आस्क मी अबाउट हाउ आई एम फीलिंग एंड माई कंपोजर, इसका हैंडल बार थोड़ा सा राइजर डाला है तो. बट स्टिल आई मीन आई कैन फील द डिफरेंस. आई मीन द प्लशनेस एंड वॉट यू से हाउ द बाइक इज़ बिहेविंग, उसमें थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस लग रहा है मुझे. But yeah, it's a Royal Enfield in the end. If you look at the console, this is the first the model before the one that came in with the USB charging points. So उसके बारे में कमेंट नहीं करूँगा, that because both the bikes have the same thing. अभी आगे देखूँ तो yes, when I'm hitting the brakes they are good but not the best. और टर्न्स भी लेते वक्त मुझे पैर रखने की थोड़ी सी दिक्कत आ रही है, मुझे पैर टैप करना पड़ रहा था, विच वॉज नॉट हैपनिंग ऑन द बी एस ए 650. तो अभी ये थोड़ा सा हम लोग राइट बानेर टू रक्षक चौक, इट्स अ गुड स्ट्रेच दैट वी आर गोइंग टू डू. सो इफ़ यू सी जो गड्ढे और छोटे छोटे से पॉट होल्स या स्पीड ब्रेकर्स हिट कर रहा हूँ, तो बाइक इज़ टेकिंग इट वेल. एंड नहीं, वाइब्रेशन तो मुझे पैरों में फील हो रहे हैं स्ट्रेंज. बट आई वॉज नॉट गेटिंग इट ऑन द बी एस ए. नॉट दैट आई एम क्रिटिसाइजिंग इट, इट ऑल्सो इट्स जस्ट अ सिंगल सिलेंडर इंजन स्टिल. एंड देखिए, रंबल स्ट्रिप भी आई थी तो भी इतना कोई फ़र्क पड़ा नहीं मुझे. यप. सो लेट्स सी. अभी थोड़े से स्पीड बढ़ा रहा हूँ मैं, बट द बाइक फील्स काम। उस पर जब मैं था तो ऐसा थोड़ा सा लगता था कि ज़्यादा पिकअप तो दे रही है मुझे, बट वो जो थकान सी आगे आती है वो एक फील नहीं होती। बट जस्ट लेट मी ऐड वन मोर पॉइंट। जो गेयर सिस्टम था उसका BSA का वो काफ़ी स्मूथ था, और बीइंग 5 स्पीड स्टिल द बाइक हैड क्वाइट वेल प्लेस गियर। ज़्यादा कुछ टॉल नहीं था और आराम से हर एक गियर में वो इजीली ट्रांसफॉर्म हो रही थी। ऐसा नहीं लग रहा कि गाड़ी किधर रुक रही है। यहाँ पे भी ऐसा फीलिंग नहीं आ रहा है, बट या दीज इंजन्स आर क्वाइट वेल मैच्ड विथ ईच अदर। चलो देन, अभी थोड़ी सी गाड़ी चलाई है। नेक्स्ट थिंग्स विल बी डिस्कस्ड इन अ स्मॉल कॉन्वर्सेशन ऑफ वी थ्री राइडर्स, एक्सपीरियंस राइडर्स विल बी हैविंग विथ ईच अदर। सो थोड़ा माफ़ी चाहता हूँ बिकॉज दिस इज़ अ वेरी डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ व्लॉग दैट आई एम शूटिंग, बिकॉज दिस इज़ अ रिव्यू दैट आई एम डूइंग विथ अनदर ओनर एंड विद द न्यू बाइक। सो मैं नहीं चाहता कि कोई कुछ बायस हो. So that's the reason it will be a bit of discussion that we'll be having. I don't know how long the discussion will take place, but I just want you guys to just stay tuned till the end of the video, because I hope that we'll find something, and some different kind of perspectives of different riders will be really fun to have.
So we guys have just ridden both the bikes, the Interceptor 650 as well as the BSA Gold Star. So right now we are just going to discuss how we feel about the bike, what are the stark differences about the bike. Or Bacon, as you know, he's already the owner of the Interceptor 650, and we have got Tall Guy Rides. We have reviewed the bike our ways, tried it with our different styles of riding. So let's begin and discuss.
Begin, do you want to start? Because you're the Interceptor owner. So
Sure. So, I mean, I've had this BSA Gold Star on my radar for a long time. I mean, I love classic retro motorcycles, like the Bonneville, the Interceptor, of course, and the Gold Star. I've owned the Interceptor for a while now, about a year and a half now. And I think what little bit I rode on the Gold Star, it is torquey. It's a very interesting motorcycle. It's fun. I mean, I think the fun quotient is similar. It is a little more vibey than the Interceptor. Obviously, it's a single cylinder, so that's bound to happen. It's a classic, single cylinder bike. So there is that different vibration. The Interceptor feels a lot more refined comparatively. My Interceptor does have a few performance mods, so straight up, there is going to be a difference even in there versus a stock Interceptor. But then apart from just the pure vibration characteristics, performance-wise, there's very less to choose between the two. I might actually go to say that the Gold Star probably has a little more torque as well than a stock Interceptor. It's more fun, especially on the straight road. When I took it, that straight one, it does have a good amount of torque. It's what, 55 Newton meters of torque. I think where the Interceptor will take over from a performance perspective is the top end. I think beyond 120, 130, that's where the Interceptor, even at 140, feels rock solid. Just feels stable. There's no vibration, nothing. Maybe a little bit of tingling at the feet, but otherwise just feels like there is more headroom. Here, it just feels a little like, okay, you're approaching the limits, and you can feel vibration. That's about it. Performance-wise, what are your thoughts?
So in terms of performance, I think both are very, very similar. I have, today is the first time I've ridden the Interceptor after a very long time, and we are riding in the wet, so I wasn't really pushing it. But yes, what I liked about the Gold Star is that throughout the rev range of the bike felt smooth. That's the first question that comes into mind. 650cc, single cylinder, how vibey is it going to be? And I think that it isn't as vibey as you think. It is a lot smoother than what you would imagine, especially if your reference point is something like a 500cc Royal Enfield Thunderbird or a Classic, then huge difference in terms of how much refinement there is on our offer over here.
But another thing that I think even you pointed out and I felt is the gears. The gears on the Gold Star are very smooth. I mean, comparable to the new Himalayan as butter smooth gearing.
That is true. That's a very
so the gearing. Yeah.
Like,
So very nice gearing for sure.
Yeah, because when I sat on both those bikes to ride, I felt the gears a bit harder than the Gold Star. On the Gold Star, at the time I was hitting the throttle and was shifting up and down, I did not just feel any kind of glitch or something. That when you're hitting something and tuck,
yeah.
that sound was missing. So that's the difference that I saw. But obviously, I mean, you're already riding cruisers, and I just came out here, so I'm not much of an experience to talk about how comfortable it was for me because I was busy searching the brake pedal on both the bikes, by the way. So I won't speak on that. But
One thing
Yeah.
I do want to call out, since you mentioned the throttle response on the Gold Star is smoother.
yeah,
The Royal Enfields, and this is true in all Royal Enfields, is twitchy.
Yeah.
It's not that smooth, and
I think it
all
has-
three of us ride.
I think the REs, even though with the Himalayan there's a big improvement, there's still like a half a second or quarter second lag. So you give input and then it takes like a second, like quarter second to figure out, acha tez jana hai abhi, acha chalo.
Despite the ride by wire.
Yeah, despite the ride by wire. So Gold Star, that thing is really, really smooth. It goes as soon as you give it the throttle. And yes, in terms of ergonomics, I usually talk about ergonomics a lot. And despite the Interceptor having a fairly large handlebar riser on it, I think the Gold Star was still a little bit more comfortable for me. So if you add a little bit of risers to the Gold Star, it'll become a lot more
Yeah, it'll
upright,
change everything.
especially for riders my size.
Mhm.
And the knee position also, the angle at which the knee is bending, that was also fairly comfortable on the Gold Star. So for taller riders, I think at least for city plus short Sunday rides, weekend rides, I think it'll be a comfortable bike. And the mirrors are kind of a
Yeah.
call. I'm sorry.
Turned down. It was a turn down for me.
Stock mirrors
I
even-
couldn't see anything on the mirrors. I could only see my elbows and one outer patch of grey right at the extreme edge of the mirrors. So yeah, the stem needs to be much longer. There needs to be some adjustment done to the mirrors.
Regarding the point regarding bending of the knees and sitting on the
Yeah.
bike, once I got the portion where I found the brake lever finally and I was riding, then I sat on the Interceptor. I had to search for the gear lever,
Yes.
and obviously I was wearing riding shoes, so that was a pain point for me, I guess.
This is a known issue with the Interceptors. The foot peg position. I mean, especially the first time you sit, and you're wearing riding boots, so you don't feel it. If
Yeah.
you're wearing regular shoes, you would have hurt your shins.
Yeah.
That is a very common problem with Interceptor, and most Interceptors owners, myself included. Within the first 3 days, I start riding, with legs apart because the position of the foot pedal is odd. I
Odd.
agree.
Yeah.
This is the Gold Star is a lot more natural, wherein you naturally put your feet when you put your foot down, you're not hitting the thing. So definitely, I mean, from an ergonomics perspective, in fact, if you put a good touring seat on the Gold Star, it'll probably be more comfortable, arguably, than the Interceptor.
Yeah, I was able to even catch up my both legs on the the tank,
It's a wider type.
wider tank.
Yeah, I think ergonomics in general are better on the Gold Star. That's what I told you guys, right? The first ones, when I got off the Gold Star and sat on the Interceptor, the first thing I noticed was like, "Arey, iska foot peg kidhar aur hai?" So yeah, of course you're used to riding off-road and adventure bikes more. So I felt that the Gold Star, the foot pegs were in a good place. The gear lever and the rear brake lever also were in a very good place. Whereas on the Interceptor, because of the bulkhead kind of design of the engine casing or whatever, the rear foot lever is just like too small. You have to kind of just adjust and work your way around the engine head case over there. So yeah.
So I feel we should speak about the tires now.
Okay, so stock tires, if you talk about the Gold Star comes with Pirellis,
Yeah,
right? What's the exact
the
model?
Phantom.
Pirelli Phantoms.
Yeah.
Far superior ones. Interceptor comes with Seats or Wurdersteins. Both are not good. My Interceptor has Reese, which are better from a budget perspective, but still, I think the Pirelli Phantoms are way better. Stock tires, no doubt. I mean, there's no question about it.
So about the confidence, I mean, we just rode an entire circuit right from Rakshak Chowk, the highway, and coming back here.
Yeah.
So in both the cases, while swapping bikes on turns, what was the thing that was coming to you? Were you easy and confident to make those turns, or were you still in a jiffy that should I lean or not?
I don't think I noticed much of a difference between the tires, but as Bacon rightly said, he has third-party tires on his bike, the Reese. So they felt good. The tires on the Gold Star, they also felt decent. Malab, I didn't notice a difference when I was, because this was mostly just straights and a few slow speed turns, so not much bandwidth to kind of check how grippy they are, because you're not really like leaning into a deep turn. So yeah, but I think that in terms of the handlebar and how the bike turns, again the Gold Star felt a little bit more comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
The Interceptor, it was more about me doing something more than the bike, whereas on the Gold Star it just felt natural.
Yeah.
Like the handlebar lock-in position is also pretty extreme, so you can, the angle at which it locks in is very acute, so it felt that the bike can take really sharp U-turns
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So yeah.
So since you spoke about like the handlebar and all, one general like rough measure I have about handling of any motorcycle is how easy is it to take a U-turn. Do I need to put my foot down? On the Interceptor, it's taken some practice for me to be able to do a footless U-turn, without putting down. Better handling bikes like the Kawasaki's and even the Tiger and all, I can take a U-turn without putting my foot down easily. Slow speed U-turn. The Gold Star, I could do that. I didn't have to put my foot down. It was slightly wider. The U-turn radius is more, but well balanced. So from a balance perspective, I think it's also to do with the general geometry of the bike. It's surprisingly well balanced.
Right. Now, what else we have been missing? Are the brakes?
Brakes are good. I think comes with what? Brembos.
Yeah, this comes with Brembos.
Brakes are
And
good. I mean,
Stock Brembo.
yeah, stock Brembos.
Brembo or Bibrake?
That's really good.
Brembo or Bibrake?
No, Brembo.
Brembo?
They come with Brembos.
That's very nice. That's some good piece of kit.
It is. It is. It is.
And the point is that it's a powerful motorcycle, and they advertise it that it should go at 100 miles
100
per
miles
hour
per
kind
hour.
of thing.
Yeah.
So you should also be able to stop from 100 miles.
One thing, since you raised it, brakes are definitely better. You rode this last night. How is the stock headlight? It's got an LED.
Yeah, it's got an, but it could do better, I guess. With
I think all
it's a
LEDs
problem.
will
LEDs
just
are a
do
problem.
better.
Yeah, true.
Like
But
my Interceptor, I've upgraded. The stock came with a halogen. This is a 22 model. The 23, the newer ones come with LEDs, but which are pretty
And you
bad.
can't do much about it.
Yeah.
That's the problem, right?
no, it's a problem with all the even the premium bikes. Even
Even
KTMs, the Tiger
new
also, in
Tiger, like you're spending 20 lakh rupees on a bike, and the stock headlight
Still need
doesn't
aux
illuminate.
lamps.
You need aux lamps, or that's how they want to sell you aux lamps.
most probably. No, but the aux lamps too are the same cost. You need to buy a clear water. You need to buy a Denali or the best or the cheapest one. Either the
Gold
flow
Runway.
water, the ones you bought.
No, Gold Runway. So even the Mad Dogs are okay.
Mad Dogs are okay.
Mad Dogs okay. I wouldn't go as for HJGs.
Yeah.
But yeah, bottom line, you need aux lamps.
Yeah.
in general.
With LED powered headlamp bikes, you need to have aux lights, especially at night. If you're touring, so then definitely better to have it.
Right. So actually today was quite different for us. I mean, we had planned for a Lonavala, but the rains here spoiled the day. But yeah, at least we rode
fun.
it inside.
It's
But
still fun.
Yeah.
we also missed the traffic because. But I can comment on the traffic, I guess, because yesterday when I got the bike, I took it through Pimpe Sodaga's horrible traffic. But yeah, I was happy because the bike did not stall. That's the first thing, because riding a 650.
How's the clutch feel? Because in traffic you have to hold the clutch for a long
Yeah, I
time.
was pulling it with two fingers,
Quite
so
light.
It was
it was quite
quite
light.
What
It
was
was
the heat? At the end of the ride, was it really hot? Because the Interceptor gets hot.
no, this was not hot. This was not that hot, but yeah, I could feel that the perfect smell that comes when the rains.
Rain hits.
But it was not that hot. That's what I liked. But yeah, because I have the habit of gripping the. I was able to touch it with my legs, but it did not give me that kind of
Chatka.
chatka that comes in that I get with.
Interceptor will give you
If
very nice
after riding
chatka.
half an hour, 45 minutes in the city, on the highway, you don't feel it.
Yeah.
In the city, half an hour, 45 minutes, you start feeling a little bit of heat. With denons also, you feel it's getting warm. It's a big twin cylinder between your legs.
But yeah, also I did not feel that pain of sitting on that bike on that flat seat.
Yeah.
It was not giving me that kind of pains or the jinx of having pains after going at home. But yeah, what I felt was the handlebars for obviously you're a tall guy. Your hand reaches
Yeah.
out. But for me and Bacon, it was like
We had to lean.
we had to
a
lean.
little bit. But it's a nice, fun position to.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be. It feels like I'm riding a cafe racer.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm riding
Even
a nice,
I had to
fast
lean
retro
a
bike.
little bit, but yeah, it felt like a
It felt
natural
it felt
position.
natural.
It
Exactly.
didn't feel like you have to like really
Yeah.
tap down or something.
Yeah.
So I think it was a nice, comfortable ergonomics.
If you want to tour or if you want to do like 500 kilometers on this, that's a whole other
Maybe,
question.
yeah.
But as a retro bike that you're going to even like a 50 kilometer to Lonavala, I think you'll have fun on this. A lot of fun on this.
So
It's interesting.
so now the thump.
No.
That's
That's
something
the
that
big topic.
I miss that thing on the bike. It's nice big single cylinder engine.
Mhm.
You should have a nice bassy exhaust that you enjoy while you're riding.
Yeah.
When you're giving it that opening the throttle, the Interceptor just sounds beautiful.
Beautiful.
And
Yeah.
especially with the Bacon's free flow exhaust, BNC,
Yeah.
That was like the first thing when I turned on the bike, I was like, wow,
Wow.
yes, सही है इसका
But even
आवाज
the
सही
stock
है.
Interceptor has a very sweet sound.
Yeah.
Very sweet sound. That's missing here.
Yeah.
But then again, that's a thing. It's a very Royal
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe you can work on it. Hopefully, the company itself launches some silencers
I'm
that
pretty
give
sure.
it that AEW gold star kind of
Perfect
sound.
thing.
That would be nice.
It's a very interesting point. There are third-party exhausts out there called Gold Star
Gold Star
exhaust.
exhaust.
AEW
Which are
Gold Star,
inspired
yeah.
from this bike,
From this,
original one.
the older
Okay.
ones.
I'm
I
surprised
had
that
one
this
on my
doesn't
Thunderbird 500.
One last thing probably that you want to call out that I noticed is the cockpit. Like it's something, and that's the view. Okay, fine. Photos you want to see the front, the back, but when you're
Yeah.
riding it,
You want to see the
99%
cockpit.
you're looking at the cockpit.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts on how that looks of the Gold Star versus the Interceptor?
See, for me, I was seeing this bike right from the time of its launch. I felt it was okay to have both the things. Whenever I started it, it booted out. There was a small display in the middle, which was showing me about the neutral sign.
You know, the telltale
Yeah,
indicators.
it was giving me every. But I think if they could have added one more, there was space for one more thing that could be added. Was gear shift indicator.
That's not there in the Interceptor either.
No, it's not the turn on point, but
What?
there was space. That's what I felt.
One weird thing that I noticed, and it's weird because we're not used to it, is both the dials are reversed. They go like this.
Yeah, this way.
Instead of
Left to
clockwise,
right.
it goes
Yeah,
it
Anti-clockwise.
starts from the top.
yeah.
Oh,
It goes like this.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm like, it goes like this, both the RPM and the thing. Because you'll notice that, okay, if I'm at like 100, it's going to be somewhere here.
Yeah.
Here, it's going to be like this.
Yeah.
So it takes a little bit of switch to naturally see that.
Right.
I don't know why they did that, but it's something that's different.
Maybe that's how it happened in the retro Gold Star. So they wanted to.
Most probably.
But I didn't look down at the the speedo at all.
Yeah.
The only time I looked down at it was when I put the bike from neutral to first, just to check ki, has it gone into first,
Yeah.
and then back when I was parking it. So
Yeah. Otherwise, they look very similar.
Yeah.
Two dials.
Two
very,
dials, yeah.
very Bonnie style.
Very honest.
Very Bonnie style. So 2 dials and then one central console to
Console
tell
to
you
tell
the indicators is on and stuff like that.
Yeah. Feature-wise, also, I think they're very similar.
Yeah.
Does this have upside-down forks? I don't.
No, I
notice.
don't think
No, no.
Right side up, right? So
Right
both
side
are
up.
Same in that
telescopic
regular
front
Yeah.
forks. Yeah.
right side up. Or-
Mhm.
Okay. So then
These
they are
are,
pretty much the same.
it has a oil coolant or a water
Liquid cooled.
That's a big
liquid
plus.
coolant.
That's a plus
That's a
one.
big plus.
The new NT also has liquid coolant.
No,
No?
no.
Oh.
It does not have
I
it.
think in the RE lineup, only the new Himalayan is liquid cooled.
Oh.
Everything else is oil and air cooled. Interceptor is also oil and air cooled.
And dual channel ABS must be there.
Yeah,
also.
it's there. And I did not even feel, I mean, I was riding essentially, I did not feel that it's obstructing with my braking sense or something. It's not too intrusive.
Smooth. Pretty smooth.
But yeah, now we come to the point where we come to the verdict. This bike will be competing obviously with the Interceptor 650 with a huge fan following coming in from the RE. So, what do you feel? How the bike will do?
Because you are
I'm biased. I'll wait. I'll reserve my judgment. What about you?
I think if I wanted to buy one, and again, like I am also a biased person on this because this will probably not be my main bike.
Mm-hmm.
My main bike will be a big adventure bike.
Mm-hmm.
This will be my Sunday rides, cafe rides, that kind of a bike,
Mm-hmm.
where the ergonomics etc. don't really matter. What matters is like the joy of the ride and the sound that the bike makes, and for that, still the Interceptor is on top, I feel. But if it had to be my main bike, perhaps the Gold Star would be the one I would go for. But for my personal use case, Inti, yeah, because the second bike is a Tuscan bike. It doesn't have to be utility. It should look good. It should make me feel good. It should sound good. And at the moment, it's the Interceptor.
Okay.
So for me, and again, assuming a lot of other viewers out there also might have this thought. I mean, both of us we own premium bikes, all three of us, and we know the cost of ownership and the pains of service, bad service.
Yeah.
That's one very important point which would tilt me towards the Interceptor. Completely agree with what he said. The sound and the feel of the character of the Interceptor is more. That's something that we spoke about. The Gold Star, despite having that legacy of the Gold Star, lacks that core character. We spoke about the sound. We spoke about the thump. The Interceptor has that. It's got that vibe. Ke yaar, kuch to, there's something strong throbbing between my legs. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But more importantly, and I'm sorry, but Java has not performed well in terms of after-sales service in the last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And it's something that we need to call out.
Yeah.
There are multiple owners who have had issues. This also is from the same stable. So, need to wait and watch how is their after-sales service on the Gold Star. Interceptor, Royal Enfield, Royal Enfield also isn't good, but there are multiple mechanics out there who are experienced enough. And I know I won't have an issue with the Interceptor no matter where I go.
Yeah.
I don't know that about the Gold Star.
Yeah.
So that could be an important point. Availability of spares, availability of third-party accessories. Another very big point. Interceptor, there's like the market is flooded. Original as well. I mean, Royal Enfield themselves have such a huge OEM catalog. Whatever you want, you'll get for the Interceptor from Royal Enfield or from third party. We'll need to wait and watch what it's for the Gold Star.
What about you?
So I'll speak about it.
You're also from the same background. You have a very high-end adventure bike.
Yeah, I have.
We own the same bikes. All of us. We own Thunderbird, we own the KTM Adventure, and now we own like big
bikes.
Big adventure bikes specifically.
So I mean, in my case of viewing this, I would speak that in a way where a novice guy is going to buy it for the first time, for like a guy who's working, who wants to have a big bike
or upgrading from a classic
350. So if I'm going to buy this bike, obviously there are many things in the market. People will speak ill about all the brands. They can speak bad, they can speak good. There are fanboys, there are everything, right? If I speak in that way of terms, I felt the bike to be good. It was checking almost all the marks, not the thumb.
Yeah, the character
was missing.
Otherwise, everything is really good.
It's really good. It's giving me more tech.
Yeah.
It's giving me an oil-cooled engine. It's giving -1 for a V-twin engine or a paddle twin.
Yeah.
But it's giving me the same power.
Yeah.
So what I think is if SD or BSA, if they work on the feedback that's coming in, if they work on the complaints that are coming in. Obviously, I was being told at the showroom, obviously during the launch, that they have improved quite a bit in Pune at least.
Okay.
Because people had bought a lot of the similar models that were coming in. I even heard about a lady who had bought the Bobber, who had bought the Adventure, and also the Roadster. So things are improving. But I think that this could be a game changer with also if they get a good PR coming in. And obviously, I cannot speak about what problems come in after people buy it, but I feel it's a bike that can compete, but terms and conditions is what I just...
See, the point is, you already have a premium bike and you have multiple other bikes besides that. Off-road ke liye you have, touring ke liye you have the Tiger. If this was your third bike, would you buy this for your third bike? If you are looking for a retro roadster bike, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
There's also a point because I hate the RE. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. See, the point is like each person has their opinion.
Yeah.
And where I'm coming from is, who will buy the Gold Star? Is my question.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, I think it will be the person who is currently riding, say a Bajaj, say a TVS, say
Commuter bike.
any
Or a
other
commuter bike.
smaller commuter bike, a Dominar 400, something like that,
Mhm.
and they want to upgrade to a bigger bike, a retro bike,
Mhm.
if that is their style of bike that they love. I think that will be the target market for the Gold Star. Perhaps somebody who likes the look of the Bonnie, the Triumph Bonnies,
Mhm.
but doesn't have the appetite
Yeah.
for it because those are super expensive to own and maintain.
Yeah.
So they might go in for it. But will it break the Royal Enfield market?
Doubtful.
I don't
Even I'm
think
doubtful.
so.
Yeah.
Like, especially with the rumor of the 650 Classic coming out,
Mhm.
then it kind of becomes like your same price, you're getting parallel twin engine
Mhm.
and you're getting a RE.
Yeah.
So breaking that, it's like a fortress, right?
Yeah.
The RE fortress. Will it break it? I'm doubtful. That feeling is not there with the
One
bike.
advantage that they do have is costing. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, this is what, about 30,000-40,000 cheaper than
Yeah.
the Interceptor. That in the and India is a value conscious market.
Yeah.
Say 3.8 versus 3.3,
3.4.
3.4. 3.8, yes, you're getting alloy wheels and everything. Like, but feature wise, everything is similar.
Mhm.
But you're still saving 40,000 bucks. Could be something that will be interesting. So
Yeah.
wait and watch. Or somebody say, hey, I don't want a RE. Everybody has an
Exactly.
RE. मुझे कुछ अलग चाहिए.
हाँ, मुझे RE
I
नहीं
wanna
चाहिए,
stand out from the
मुझे
crowd.
retro bike चाहिए. That is
That
the
is the-
perfect target group for
Because
Mhm.
functionally, like we've spoken, there's not much difference between the
Yeah.
two functionally.
Yeah.
Everything else we spoke about is upar ka. The
Upar ka.
sound is nicer
Mhm.
or the after sales service. But actually riding the bike, I'll be very honest, 19-20.
19-20.
19-20 का फर्क.
and beast in the favor of the Gold Star, I would say.
No. It depends. मतलब whether you're riding 30 kilometers or 300 kilometers.
Yeah,
Dekhi.
that's the point. So we are thankful again for Shakti Java to provide us this bike. Shakti Java is, by the way, the first franchisee that sold the Javas, the SDs, and now the BSAs. So we are thankful to them for providing us with this bike for testing, and it's quite a new bike that we got. And I'm also thankful to Tall Guy Rides and my brothers Bacon to we come at early morning. We came at 7 a.m. or something. Yep. So that's something that only bikers can do for each other. So I'm thankful to both of them. I'm just mentioning the handles here down the strip, and you can follow them on their YouTube channel and Bacon on his Insta. Bacon, by the way, has a great taste for food. You can just follow him for the food he just posts about. It's just complete food gasm and food porn for us. So yeah, thanks for tuning in to the Nomadic Odyssey. Do like, follow, and subscribe the channel, and stay tuned for the next vlog.